Welcome back, everyone, to another Musical Monday. Thanks so much for joining us. And we are so excited today to have the incredible Courtney Monsma here joining us for an interview. Say hi, Courtney.
Hi, everyone. Lovely to be here.
Everybody would know you from most recently playing the incredible Howard in the musical Six, and also about to star as Princess Anna in Frozen, which is just incredible. So we are so blessed to have you. Thank you so much for coming on and inspiring young musical theatre artists.
It is my absolute pleasure to be here. I'm so excited.
Oh, awesome. So first and foremost, how did you get into musical theatre?
So I have always loved musical theatre ever since I was a little girl. I started in dance class when I was about 4 years old. I then went to do a lot of community theatre around the Gold Coast, which is where I grew up. So I did a lot of gave up a lot of my free time to performing and doing things in the community. When I got old enough to audition for a university, I studied at the Brisbane Conservatorium to get my bachelor in musical theatre, which was a very intense 3 years, but it paid off because then I luckily got to audition to be in the industry. I've been working for almost 3 years, which is so amazing.
You've had an incredibly successful year. How did you just go from show to show?
Well, it's funny because everyone used to say, you got to trust the timing of your life, really, and just how it worked out. Someone would be in the audience watching the show before, and then I'd get an audition for the next show. So it just goes to show how no matter what show of the week it is, or even if you're tired, even if you're exhausted, like that could be the one that has someone for your next job. So it's been a pretty intense year, but us performers, I feel like we thrive on the pressure and the excitement of it all. So yeah.
Absolutely. Performing as a lead in a massively successful musical like Six, the musical only has a cast of 6. How does that differ from working with big companies and big casts?
Oh, the whole thing is so different. It's so much more personalized, I think, with the 6 of us. And it's funny because you think of the small number and you think it's quite exposing, but it's such a group effort with that show. It's such an ensemble piece. So you just feel supported by each of the women. And I honestly think that, no matter what place you are in a show, like it's just as important, but it definitely was a big change for me, like being in ensembles and, you kind of have something to hide behind. You're working hard, but you're not necessarily in the spotlight. And suddenly you have a voice and you get to tell a story, and it's a totally different thing. So yeah, it was pretty exciting. Like it took a little while for me to get used to, but once I got used to it, it felt right.
It looked like you girls had a really cool bond. You were always kind of posting stuff on social media. So it looked like you were able to kind of engage with your own crazy kind of personalities and have some fun backstage as well.
Exactly. It is because, everyone has a similar like love for theatre, but then you realize you're people as well. So we all luckily got along really well, and we still, even with all of this happening at the moment, we're still talking online and video chatting to each other just to keep each other in check, and it's so important.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now we know when you're performing live, anything can happen, good, bad, and everything in between. What's kind of one of the funniest or the most notable kind of mishaps that has happened during a production for you?
Personally, it's actually funny though, because you think you do shows, you do 8 shows a week for a year, and the show like the back of your hand. And then one show, I remember it was in Mamma Mia actually, I got out there and I started dancing and I suddenly forgot what I was doing. Like I had no clue. And my body, it wasn't for that long, but my body just froze and my heart just sunk. I was like, what's happening? So just goes to show like your brain can play tricks on you. In Six, actually, one of the funniest things that happened is one of the dads in the audience actually jumped up on the stage in one of the numbers. So instead of him like getting up and dancing, he actually jumped up, and we all just went, we didn't know what to do because it's never happened before. And he was just going for it, like dancing in the middle of the stage. And then his daughter apologized, but we just thought it was the best thing ever. So it was quite fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. When I was actually doing Wizard of Oz, the same kind of thing happened to me, like you were talking about, and it was on Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I mean, how can you forget the words? And I remember I was walking back and it was the second verse of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I was like, just mind blank. Sunday, this is the 8th show of the week. And all the cast were in the wings going, what's going on? And I was like, la, la, la. And then and the conductors like just kept playing extra music until I kind of picked it up. But I just,
like, what do you do?
Yeah, you just have to go with it. It was crazy. And the cast still remind me of that. So.
Oh, that's, I see. And then it's memorable. You know, you don't remember the 7th, you remember the 8th where that happened.
That's true. That's true. So for those who don't know at home, Six the Musical is based on ex-wives of Henry VIII, and each wife gets their own song describing their life with the king. What was your view on the comments that the composer borrowed different styles?
Sorry, my thoughts on the music, like, sorry.
Yeah. So what's your view on the comments that the composer borrowed different styles of music for each individual
I know what you mean. Sorry.
Yeah,
right. I think it's what makes the show kind of magic, you know, and what makes it relatable. We've all got our favorite pop star, and mine was you, by the way. Through and through. No, it's true. It's very true. Yeah. So I think each of the girls represent different things, and especially in the history, and each style kind of relates to a pop star that's relevant today, which makes it suitable for you know, the grown up and the young. We're all listening to this mainstream music all the time, and I think it's how something that is so ancient really can be so relatable to today, is to give us something that we know and love.
Awesome. Yeah. Your next production is the one that is coming up, is one of the biggest musicals on Broadway, the Disney hit Frozen, which we all love and we're so excited to see. Can you kind of take us through a little bit of what the audition process was like for a show that has like international directors and producers, and how much, I guess, input they have in the casting?
Yeah, it was an amazing experience for me. It was a very intense experience. You know, Disney is such a massive company. It's global, really. But the thing that I loved about it is that I felt like I was being viewed with fresh eyes. I wasn't, you know, it wouldn't have mattered my experience, my age, anything. Like, they wanted the person that was right for the role. And I felt that the second I walked in, you know, you could just give yourself, and then they would, give you critiques and everything. So there was about three or four rounds. The final round, actually, it had all the owners of the Disney theatrics on the table and the writers of the music. And it was quite, I just went up and shook all their hands because I was so gobsmacked. I was like, this is amazing. So it's kind of scary. You could see it as scary, but overall it was just inspiring just to be in front of those people. They obviously wanted the best for us as well the whole time. So I felt supported in the environment, even though I was like, is this actually happening? But the second I walked in the room, there was just something that felt right, which I couldn't ignore. Luckily it worked out.
Yeah, it sure did. It sure did. What did you have to prepare for like your first audition?
Prepared for the first time in forever. Which is obviously like one of the first songs, and funnily enough, it's because it's so excitable, it's actually quite a harder song to sing, especially when you're nervous. So that took quite a lot to work on, and we did quite a few scenes, and then they sort of matched us up with the different Elsas and all the different characters, and obviously the sister bond was very important.
Yes, and you got an awesome co-star and leading lady. She's amazing. Yeah. Oh. Is there any advice you can give to young performers who are on the audition circuit, and if so, what would that be?
It's funny enough, when I graduated uni, even I had such a different idea about auditions, and they seemed terrifying to me because we'd go in class and we get critiqued all the time, and I'd be thinking, what's my hand doing? What's my arm doing? Within this last year, funnily, these opportunities have come my way. I've just sort of stopped and embraced who I am and being confident in myself. And if they want the best out of you, and that's something that I would say. They don't want you to fail. They don't want you to be nervous. They don't want to intimidate you. They want you to be yourself. And as long as you know that, I think you are performing to your best ability, because you can often sabotage yourself by thinking about what they think about you and caring too much. But really, you just go in there, you be you do the best you can, and the rest is history, really.
And I guess if you have the right preparation and you're confident in that preparation, then you can enjoy the process.
And that's exactly it. It's not about just going, I'm going to do me, go in. It's like, you know, it's months. For Frozen, I was preparing for at least 3 or 4 months before the audition, just to, you know, little bit by little bit, so that by the time I went in, I could be myself and I could be relaxed. So preparation is definitely key. I would say that too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now it's speed question time. So all you have to do is say the first thing that comes into your mind as quickly as you can.
Oh, goodness.
And then you'll be versing other Australian musical theatre stars. And then I had to do it too. So I was like, oh, terrible on the spot, you know.
Me too.
But it's not too hard. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's so true. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. I'm just setting the timer.
Okay.
What is your favourite musical?
6.
Favourite character you have played?
So far, Catherine Howard.
Best co-star kiss?
Oh, goodness. Oh, I can't think. Pass.
Yeah, fair enough. One word to describe Corona.
Inconvenient.
What would it be? What would you be if you weren't a performer?
Something that helps people.
Favorite musical theatre performer?
Gemma.
Also, a quirky thing about you or what you do that people might not know.
Quirky thing about me. I'm obsessed with The Wizard of Oz, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely obsessed.
And the thing you do most while you're stuck inside?
Sing.
Beautiful. That's it. It was 1 minute and 1 second. You're pretty good. You're pretty good.
I just didn't think about it. Thank you.
Okay. It is lots of pressure. I guess, you know, let's have a quick little touch on a little taste of something that everyone's kind of sick of, maybe not sick of talking about, but something that's kind of shattered our industry and a lot of industries, and also shattered a lot of hopes and dreams for a lot of performers and a lot of children at home. We have had to close down our dance studios after 13 years, laying off over 40 staff. So it's incredibly devastating to see how quickly this is, for us as business owners, has come to our fruition, and then also not to know when it's going to end. And this has really affected everybody in the entertainment industry. How has not being able to work affected you so far?
It's luckily for me, I just finished work. I know I've got a break until I start, but you know, the fact that I possibly will very definitely can't go back and perform my final shows of 6 is quite devastating. But then it's such a hard balance for me, because then I think about how lucky I am to even do it in the first place. And you kind of you think about taking these amazing opportunities for granted when you have them all the time, just to go to a dance studio. So I think this time, although it's quite scary and sad, it's nice to stop and just really remember what things mean to you, and how staying at home doesn't mean I can't prepare for possibly the next thing or get myself ready for another opportunity. So it's trying to look on the bright side of things. But as for future work, it's sad, but then you think about the circumstances and what other people can go through, and it's hard to feel like that, you know.
Absolutely. And I think the hardest thing is, like, I'm sure for you, you didn't know your last performance of 6 was going to be your last performance for a while, you know.
Yeah,
and it's just about enjoying those moments, because you do never know when the next chance is going to come. I think hopefully we can flatten the curve and we can get back, and the entertainment industry can grow and grow, and get stronger and stronger, because that's what performing's all about, making people feel good. And that's what we need in this country, people coming to shows, supporting talent, supporting the cast, supporting the crew, and just letting any worries out of their heads and just coming for a couple of hours and just getting wrapped up in the story of the musical. So I really hope that it just grows and grows and grows when we get a chance to come back. So I really think it will. I just think about now we're at home, what are we doing? We're watching movies, or we're doing things online, because we appreciate artists, and it actually keeps us entertained and makes us want to live. So I think when this all, by us staying home, it's a fantastic thing to hopefully make this go faster. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Courtney Monsma.
My absolute pleasure.
We are so excited to come and see you play Anna in Frozen. We've got the whole studios coming. We've got a big group coming, so we cannot
Yes, please
wait.
let me know when you're in, and I'll make sure I'll come to Stage Door and say hi to everyone.
Thank you, my love. Thank you so much, and stay safe. Bye.
You too. Bye.